Okay, today we're reading references out of As Bill Sees It, Responsibility as a Member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Michael's going to start on page 9. Go ahead.
Page 9, Group and Worldwide Community. The moment 12-step work forms a group, a discovery is made that most individuals cannot recover unless there is a group. Realization dawns on each member that he is but a small part of a great whole, that no personal sacrifice is too great for preservation of the fellowship. He learns that the clamor of desires and ambitions within him must be silenced whenever these could damage the group. It becomes plain that the group must survive or the individual will not. The lone member at sea, the AA at war in a far land. All these members know that they belong to AA's worldwide community, that theirs is only a physical separation, that their fellows may be as near as the next port of call. Ever so importantly, they are certain that God's grace is just as much with them on the high seas or the lonely outpost as it is with them at home.
Okay. 13. The shared gift. AA is more than a set of principles. It is a society of alcoholics in action. We must carry the message, else we ourselves can wither, and those who haven't been given the truth may die. Faith is more than our greatest gift. Its sharing with others is our greatest responsibility. May we of AA continually seek the wisdom and the willingness by which we may well fulfill that immense trust that the giver of all perfect gifts has placed in our hands.
Okay, 32, moral responsibility. Some strongly object to the AA position that alcoholism is an illness. This concept, they feel, removes moral responsibility from alcoholics. As any AA knows, this is far from true. We do not use the concept of sickness to absolve our members from responsibility. On the contrary, we use the fact of fatal illness to clamp the heaviest kind of moral obligation onto the sufferer, the obligation to use AA's 12 steps to get well. In the early days of his drinking, the alcoholic is often guilty of irresponsibility, but once the time of compulsive drinking has arrived, he can't very well be held fully accountable for his conduct. He then has an obsession that condemns him to drink, and a bodily sensitivity to alcohol that guarantees his final madness and death. But when he is made aware of this condition, he is under pressure to accept AA's program of moral regeneration.
50. AA, benign anarchy and democracy. When we came into AA, we find a greater personal freedom than any other society knows. We cannot be compelled to do anything. In that sense, our society is a benign anarchy. The word anarchy has a bad meaning to most of us, but I think that the idealist who first advocated the concept felt that if only men were granted absolute liberty and were compelled to obey no one, they would then voluntarily associate themselves in the common interest. AA is an association of the benign sort he envisioned. But when we had to go into action to function as groups, we discovered that we also had to become a democracy. As our old-timers retired, we therefore began to elect our trusted servants by majority vote. Each group in this sense became a town meeting. All plans for group action had to be approved by the majority. This meant that no single individual could appoint himself to act for his group or for AA as a whole. Neither dictatorship nor paternalism was for us.
57, better than gold. As newcomers, many of us have indulged in spiritual intoxication. Like a giant prospector belt drawn in over the last ounce of food, we saw our pick strike gold. Joy at our release from a lifetime of frustration knew no bounds. The newcomer feels he has struck something better than gold. He may not see at once that he has barely scratched a limitless load, which will pay dividends only if he mines it for the rest of his life, and insists on giving away the entire product.
79. Whose responsibility? An AA group as such cannot take on all the personal problems of its members, let alone those of non-alcoholics in the world around us. The AA group is not, for example, a mediator of domestic relations, nor does it furnish personal financial aid to anyone. Though a member may sometimes be helped in such matters by his friends in AA, the primary responsibility for the solutions of all his problems of living and growing rests squarely upon the individual himself. Should an AA group attempt this sort of help, its effectiveness and energies would be hopelessly dissipated. This is why sobriety, freedom from alcohol, through the teaching and practice of AA's 12 steps, is the sole purpose of the group. If we don't stick to this cardinal principle, we shall almost certainly collapse. And if we collapse, we cannot help anyone.
84, benefits of responsibility. Happily, AA's per capita expenses are very low. For us to fail to meet them would be to evade a responsibility beneficial for us. Most alcoholics have said they have no troubles that money would not cure. We are a group that, when drinking, always held out a hand for fun. So when we commenced to pay our own service bills, this is a healthy change. Because of drinking, my friend Henry had lost a high salary job. There remained a fine house with a budget 3 times his reduced earnings. He could have rented the house for enough to carry it, but no, Henry said he knew that God wanted him to live there and he would see if the costs were paid. So Henry went on running up bills and glowing with faith. Not surprisingly, his creditors finally took over the place. Henry can laugh about it now, having learned that God more often helps those who are willing to help themselves.
Okay. 125. Look beyond the horizon. My workshop stands on a hill back of our home. Looking over the valley, I see the village community house where our local group meets. Beyond the circle of my horizon lies the whole world of AA. The unity of AA is the most cherished quality our society has. Our lives, the lives of all to come, depend squarely upon it. Without unity, the heart of AA would cease to beat. Our world arteries would no longer carry the life-giving grace of God. (229)